Welcome to the Pop-Off Podcast, exploring the experiences of nightlife and music industry professionals. I'm your host, Xander Rose, and I'm here, as always, with my beautiful co-host. Introduce yourself.
What's up, good guys? My name is K-OG. I'll be the co-host for this show. Super excited to get this started off.
Yeah, so this is officially the first episode of the podcast that will be happening either, I think bi-weekly was what we're going to be aiming for, either that or weekly. We'll see how it goes. This is both of our first time doing this specific kind of thing, doing podcasting. So it's definitely going to be a learning experience. But if you're listening to this, then I'm glad that you're joining us for the journey. I think to start off, maybe we should go into a little bit of why we decided to start this venture.
Totally. Yep. Yeah, 100%. Well, I think we started this adventure because as we've experienced nightlife over the past couple of years, we've heard many different interesting stories and many different sides of the nightlife industry in Vancouver. And we wanted to try and capture that in a podcast and, have somewhere where it's recorded so people can remember all these like funky, crazy stories. Cause I feel like all these stories do get lost in the black hole of the rest of the stories that happen throughout the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like as well, when it comes to this industry, it's like one that's a little bit more closed off, where I feel like the average consumer that's going out to the club or whatever isn't really seeing a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. There's not really like a strong grasp of, okay, these are the different roles that even exist in the industry, exactly. what their objectives are, what kind of paths the people in those roles usually go down, and what kind of stories they have to tell. So
yeah, I think this is also like a good breakdown of who does what, where, and why. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But this isn't just a podcast for nightlife industry or people in the nightlife industry. We also want to feature, DJs and artists and creatives that I guess would fall in line with the industry, but examine their lives outside of the industry and see what goes on in their regular daily lives.
Well, kind of by the same token too, I think it's the biggest sign to me of the lack of understanding of, I guess, the industry and the back end is the fact that most people don't even know the difference between a DJ and a producer, for example, right? So,
honestly,
so that kind of extends as well to, well, what does a promoter for a club do, right? Yeah. What are these different roles? Like, how do we actually draw the distinctions? And I hope that while we also are here to speak to the people within the industry, that we can also give a little bit more insight to people who are just interested in learning more about it, or who have partaken in it as a long time as a customer, but want to know a little bit more. So I think next up we should give a little bit more context on ourselves, who we are, why we're qualified to even to do this.
Xander, please tell me, why are you qualified?
Yeah.
Who are you, my friend?
Yeah, good question. Well, I mean, it's one of those fake it till you make it type of things where I think both of us have worn a lot of different hats in our time. I'm actually interested to hear for you, what was the first role that you had with anything related to parties, events, or music?
In terms, I guess my first involvement with music dates back all the way to my high school days. I used to be a dancer, funny enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
okay, I think I knew that. Yeah.
I used to be like the head choreographer for like my high school dance team and everything. Yeah. So kind of
it was mostly like hip hop dancing.
Yeah, right? It was mostly like hip hop. It was like the new style, like animation, I think it was called, like with all like the way, like the robotic
animation. What?
Yeah, it's like a new different style.
Okay, cool.
But they focused mainly like dancing like dubstep, and it was like this new wave that's coming in. And,
whoa.
Yeah. So did that. Got out of high school and kind of just picked up, like I just realized one day I had like an epiphany. I was just like listening to Kid Cudi in the forest, as one does in North Vancouver. And I kind of realized, I was like, man, like he's making some beautiful creative music, and I could, if I really wanted to, I could learn how to do it too. So I went home that day, downloaded Logic, and just like plugged myself there.
When was this?
Hours.
What year was
this is like 2014, 2015 or something, when I first graduated high school. Yeah, and then I just picked up recording or producing a little bit there. And I was like, damn, I really like this. I really like where this is going, like the whole creative aspect of it.
Yeah.
Then I hit university, kind of had to take a step back from all that. And focus on school, you know, as a student does. I took it really seriously for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Which I probably shouldn't have, because the first 2 years they don't really matter.
Yeah.
Right? But then a good friend of mine, Demo, Brent Mosher, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
He brought me over one day, and it's just like, hey man, like, I'm a DJ. Do you want to learn how to DJ? Like,
was he at the Calendar then, or was this?
I met him through my faculty's orientation, and he was actually the DJ there, and I ended up getting tight with him because I started all my dance moves, right? So I was just dancing and hanging out. Like, I was like, you know, the whole open up this fucking circle, do a dance battle or whatever, and like he just came up to me and we started chatting and whatnot. And just like, yeah, I think you'd really make a good DJ. And I was like, cool, all right.
Just because you're like life of the party, or because you told them you were producing and stuff, or did you express an interest in DJing? I didn't know that you produced before you ever DJ.
Yeah, no, I did a little bit. Man, but I look back at those tracks and I'm like, oh, you know,
that's everyone. Looking back.
But then, yeah, so I actually don't know how the conversation went, but I ended up going over to his house and, you know, picking up a couple of things, and he slid me like a formal gig, you know, it was like a faculty formal. It was super jokes or whatever, but he's just like, yeah, just make like a 20-minute set of like what you want to play and mix it all and whatnot and just do it live. And I was like, cool. And it kind of just happened. And as soon as I got off the decks that first time, I was like, wow, I think this is what I really want to do.
Right.
You know, it just kind of came to me. And then beyond that, it just kind of kept growing and growing. Got my own deck. Started DJing with The Calendar, which is an events company at UBC. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just kind of like snowballed into downtown, and then started working for a bunch of different places. Yeah,
and I think that was like we both went downtown at like the same time, right? We both made that transition around the same time.
It was the summer of 2016? 2017.
2017, yeah.
Yeah, and I met you at Republic.
Yes, yeah.
Back when roll call was still a thing.
Yeah. I'll get into more of that, I think, in a bit. But
definitely,
yeah. And then since moving downtown, what other hats or like things have you done since then?
Yeah. So obviously it's like DJing was like a really hot passion of mine. And, but I soon realized that it's like an early ceiling career, you know, in the sense that like you can't, like you can get great at DJing. Yeah. You can just focus on DJing and like spend your entire life on it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're not going to get anywhere unless you have like other like skills in the industry. You know? Like, either you're a promoter or you're a producer or like you're some sort of events manager or something, you know what I mean? Because it's like,
unless you do go down that route of I'm going to be the best scratch, open format, like Red Bull DJ. Freestyle type of DJ.
I mean, if you're going to do that, like
that's got to be your thing,
that's
right?
Be like your whole life. You know what I mean? So you got to be like one of those like esport gamers. Sessions for 12 hours a day.
That's a good analogy. Right? I bet those guys are just practicing scratching all day.
Hours
doing different blends and stuff.
Like my buddy Garrett, like we used to work at the Met on a Tuesday, and it was dead. So I'd be like the one like playing music or whatever out to the crowd or whatever, whoever was there, you know, a couple people at the bar. And he'd just be like scratching for 4 hours. Like just like learning how to juggle, learning like different scratches and whatnot. And he's like still like he's good, but he's still not like competable, you know. We did that for like 4 or 5 months.
Whereas like this is going on a bit of a tangent, but like last night at Celebrities in Vancouver, I was who was performing Nick Bike and Flip Out.
Flip Out came through.
Right? Insane. And so they're doing the craziest blends and mashup, like live mashups and shit like that, where you can kind of tell like some people in the crowd are like, what is going on? Like there's like 6 songs playing right now. And like, and there's like, you know, a vocal they didn't even expect, like just some crazy stuff going on. And I look at that, I'm like, wow, I can't believe they put in all this energy and effort to come up with that. And then all the DJs in the crowd are just going, oh, I'll just make that mashup. like they're laying the groundwork, and then guys are just going to pick it up. Like,
this is my blend, bro. I actually like wonder, this is a question for you. It's like, do you think people who aren't involved in music at all, like people who don't like play an instrument or DJ or produce or anything, like what do you think they think of when they hear like insane scratch lists like that?
So that was something that I thought was interesting because someone in the group of people I was with, it was N-words in Paris. Nice. I'm not going to say it in case in case you've never seen a photo of me, I'm white as fuck. So I'm like, I'm never going to be, Brothers in Paris.
Yeah.
And it was a blend like Fake Out where the vocal that you would expect to come in didn't come in.
Yeah.
And it pissed off a bunch of people. And, they're kind of drunk. So they're getting more upset about it than you really should be getting.
Yeah.
And we're kind of cuss them out. I'm like, dude, that's like, can't cuss out Flip Out. What are you talking about?
Legend.
And I remember once I get into kind of more of my story, but one of the early companies I worked with, entertainment companies I worked with, they would say like, calm down on always doing mashups and remixes. Sometimes people just want to hear the original.
Straight up.
Right. And if you're playing to a top 40 crowd, sometimes you don't want to subvert their expectations because you're just going to piss them off.
Yeah, tell me, I've been playing college gigs. Because that's all they want, man. It's the throwbacks.
Yeah.
And people get like pissed when I don't play the full song sometimes. I'm just
you don't play the full song or you play a weird mashup or remix and they'll get upset about it. And you're like, dude, you've heard this song a million times. I'm just trying to give you something new, a new way to experience it. But
some people are close-minded though.
You've got to earn that though, I think, is like, you've got to earn that from the crowd, the ability to surprise them and stuff. But that was a bit of a tangent.
Where was I?
You were talking about
other hats I was wearing.
Yeah, other hats you were wearing. So you realized that you needed to diversify your skill set.
Right.
And you couldn't just commit to DJing.
So anyway, the summer that I met you and I started started DJing downtown, I kind of learned the importance of becoming a promoter as well. So like bringing people out to your show and, helping the club and the venue and the nightlife manager, whoever was working there, build the night, because I realized, even though you are a DJ and you're bringing music, you're more than that, or the expectation is that you're more than that. So I learned how to promote through that summer, through working with a couple companies and whatnot. And then the following school year, I got more involved with the calendar because they were the ones that were like bringing me on for gigs and whatnot, and kind of showed they would graciously, gave me opportunity to grow and whatnot. So I became the stage coordinator for them, which my job was to book talent. So just hire myself essentially for all the events. And then also like figure out how to do all the stage setup and whatnot. So I got really good with like event audio technician stuff, like setting up speakers and
which is super valuable.
100%. Yeah. I learned how to do like set up lights and program lights as well. So it's like, I could like essentially like that taught me how to run an event if I want to. And it's like definitely come in handy because it's like I have run like more low key, like private events where I had to set up all my own stuff, but it's like, it was easy because I knew how to do that.
Right.
So I got involved there. And then this past summer, started my own promotions company, Kumo Promotions, because, I felt like as a DJ, it was like, it wasn't enough. Like my name, I'm like not big enough, or my name's not big enough yet to like draw a crowd out. Right. So I felt like I needed an extra support to, or like some sort of other avenue to bring people. Cause I also found out it's just like people get sick and tired when you invite them out to your gigs all the time. Cause then it's just like, you just want us to come support you, yada, yada, yada. Right? So I kind of felt like I needed a second alias almost, or like some sort of like
other project that's inspiring people to come out for a new fresh reason.
Exactly. It's like almost like a separate entity that's disassociated from myself, where I'm just like draw people to it, but then the company actually draws people in. So it's like I'll direct people in towards whatever event that we're doing, and then the company would draw people in, even though it's like me running behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been a promoter, I've been a DJ, I've been a producer, I've been an event manager, I've been a production manager. Yeah, I've done it all. Not all, but I've done a lot. I've done a lot.
Yeah. But that's awesome. Like yourself, I started as a producer before I ever became a DJ.
Nice.
To go way back, I started in music going into high school in vocal jazz and chamber choirs. And I, for whatever reason, got super into it and became very, very passionate about it, to the point where throughout my high school career, by the time I was in grade 12, I was section leading all the men of 4 different choirs and TAing another 4 choirs. So I was in 8 in total, including what was called Jazz in the Box, which is basically our like high performance, very exclusive jazz choir of about 18 people. So like those types of choirs you had to audition to get into. It was music at my high school. For some reason, it was a public school, but it was like, It was almost like a university level thing. Like
Okay.
we had 8 choirs and 8 bands, and everyone wanted to be in it. Like
Yeah.
it was the equivalent of like sports at an American high school. That was like music at ours, and the band kids and the choir kids feuded all the time. But I got lots of amazing opportunity through that, like both in terms of leadership experience, but also really cool things that I don't think I fully appreciated in the moment. But we toured China with our chamber choir.
Pretty hype.
Yeah. So we basically just performed at different venues and universities and stuff as kind of like a cultural exchange to learn more about Chinese instruments and music and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Which is kind of funny because they kept playing us like really old folk Canadian music that they thought we would appreciate, and none of us knew what it was. We're like playing Justin Bieber or something, and then we'll know. And I also got to perform in Carnegie Hall through that in New York, which was really awesome. That was with a super small group of like 20 of us. So I got to do lots of cool things through that. Then in grade 12, I had gotten really into hip hop, because actually it must have been before that. Whenever Good Kid, Mad City came out, I think it was 2012.
2012.
So I would have been in grade 10.
Really, it was that long ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I started getting into hip hop in my free time while I was doing jazz and chamber stuff. I was also in indie rock bands for a little bit.
What did you play?
I was the vocalist. I also taught myself guitar on the side. So I was doing like a shitload of music stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I would trash on electronic music all the time. Like I was like, this is not real music. Like it was weird because I listened to Justice and Daft Punk all the time.
Okay,
But
you're just an uneducated.
Yeah, I was very uneducated about it. And then when I went to university, I kind of dropped all this stuff. I got really involved in a nonprofit, and so I wasn't in any rock bands. I wasn't doing anything. I was like screwing around in FL Studio about making hip hop beats, but I wasn't very serious about it.
Do you regret that?
Regret what?
Just dropping all of it to do school stuff.
No, I dropped it because I actually dropped it halfway through grade 12 because I had pretty severe anxiety, and I had a big falling out with my conductor. Okay. So I actually quit like all 8 choirs that I was in. Yeah. Which was like a very intense experience at the time.
I mean, take care of yourself though. Right?
Yeah. Now I look back at it and I'm like, totally, it was something I had to do for my own mental health and stuff. And it worked out in the end. So it's fine. It was still an experience I cherish a lot. So, but I did feel a little bit misguided in terms of music and what I wanted to do. Cause I'd gone from that constructing my identity to now like just being a regular student and stuff. Yeah. So then I went to Contact 2015, which is the major winter music festival in Vancouver, put on by Blueprint. And that just changed everything for me. That I was like, I looked around at, it was Oliver Heldens' set, where I looked around and saw how happy everyone was and how they're all just dancing, enjoying life, forgetting about their problems. Yeah. And I like just looked up at the stage and I was like, I want to do that. And so because I'd already been producing, this is the very end of 2015, right? Yeah. I was like, okay, I guess I'll produce music because I've always wanted to make my own music, be like singer-songwriter, etc. And so I started producing, make really shit music for a long time, for pretty much all of 2016.
You got to start somewhere though.
Yeah. And I realized that like, you can't just be a producer unless you're like a sleeper hit or whatever, like Death Pact came out of nowhere, right? Okay. And people, or Mala, right? Yeah. Where it's like, they're just producers and then they explode and then they start DJing afterwards. So I realized in order to market my music, I had to be performing shows. Mm-hmm. That way, you know, I could have social media content. And like I said before, people don't know the difference between a DJ and a producer. So honestly, if they see you DJing, then that's like the way to market yourself as a producer.
They assume.
Yeah. So this was the very end of 2016. I get a message from a guy that I had met at a singer-songwriter meetup 2 years prior, named Nick. And he said, hey, I see on social media that you started making music and are you interested in DJing? Mm-hmm. We're throwing an event at Portside Pub. And I was like, that'd be awesome. So I go and do that. It was terrible. I totally bombed. It was really bad. It was a disaster. But they liked me and stuff. The company was called Savage Entertainment. They don't exist anymore, but they were the entertainment company that was hosting most of the events at Simon Fraser University, which is the university I attend. And then from there, I was doing like one-off events, maybe once a month or so. I was very fortunate that I got to play, like, my second show ever was at Celebrities, which is obviously one of the biggest venues in Vancouver. But if I'm honest, it was quite stressful because I wasn't used to selling tickets.
It was one of those events.
Yeah. Well, all of my experience in sales before that had been business to business, selling mostly internships for this nonprofit that I worked for. So that was quite stressful. And then I did that for like all 2017. I Meet You in the Summer. It wasn't until 2018 that I was at a show at Republic.
Yeah.
And it was Lupo who came in to help because we were having technical issues with the equipment. And I knew who he was. And so I asked him if he would kind of introduce me to some of the people, explain to me if there's any way that I can, break out in the industry a bit more.
Yeah.
So from there, he invited me out. And that's when I started working as you said, you learned the importance of being a promoter. That's when I learned the importance of being a promoter. Began working at Republic as one, and then eventually became a resident DJ there. About a month after that, through another connection, Robbie Wright, I moved over to MIA as well, and kind of got the ball rolling there. So this was all spring 2018, was like accelerating very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Following that, I moved to Toronto, and I found Stir Fry Records, which is the record label that this podcast is kind of a part of, with yourself and some of the other guys that we met along the way who I knew wanted to put out music.
Like whom?
Like Drake, Jay Sturge, and Ridge, I believe. That's the whole lineup, right? Yeah. It's the five of us. Yeah, so we do that. I manage the label. Other than that, I've attended music festivals ever since Contact, pretty much. I started a job with Blueprint as well, and I've been working with you on Kumo. Yeah, it's been like a long road, but it's been a really cool experience, and I'm very grateful for having all these different opportunities to learn different skill sets. But it's been really cool, I think, to hold all these different hats and be part of this particular industry. It's been really interesting. I know for me, one of the big turning points in my career as a producer in particular was when I met Crescent, who's a rapper, and I met him like 6 months before his major viral song came out. Yeah. And we became friends. And then when the song came out, I asked him, hey, could I remix this? And before that, my most popular song was a song called Drank, which is a Kendrick Lamar vocal. Yeah. And it has now, like, I don't know, a little bit shy of 7,000 plays on SoundCloud. Like, not anything crazy.
SoundCloud?
Yeah, on SoundCloud. And not even on like Spotify or somewhere that counts, right? Yeah. So that was my most popular song. And I did the remix for Crescent because, it was very kind of him to let me do that. And that's by far my most popular song, almost at 60,000 plays on Spotify.
There you go.
Spotify alone. So I don't even know how it's doing on Apple Music and all that stuff because I don't check it. But I think that was a major, major turning point that gave me a lot of credibility. And one thing that I noticed too, even before that, was the lack of producing skills among a lot of the DJs in the industry in particular. Yeah. Has, as you were saying, like when you need to make a niche or find what your unique skill set is, that kind of became my unique skill set, where it was like, I'm one of the guys who both knows a decent amount about production, more than the average person. But I also have the skills to do things like promote and actually DJ competently, right? Totally, and it's not everyone has all three of those things. So I'm a very average DJ, I would say. I'm not like an amazing DJ. I'm a very average promoter, and then I'm a significantly above average producer. So there you go. It's like you need to be both kind of a jack of all trades and then a master at least one. In order
I don't think I'm necessarily great at anything. I just think people just like me. So that's why people bring me on.
Well, I would say you're probably an above average DJ because of the amount of experience that you have and the amount of range you have as well. I guess right? So, because for me, it's like I have lots of experience from working Republic and MIA doing down-tempo hip-hop, like a very specific opening set of hip-hop, and then doing kind of like this crossover of pop and house music and very aggressive house music. But pretty much anything outside of those three buckets, it's like or going between those buckets, I find quite challenging. I've been trying to challenge myself more.
Totally.
And I think a good example of that was my Veld mix last year, the Music Festival Veld.
Oh, yeah, tell me about that.
That was the most challenging mix I've ever done because it was all different genres from the lineup of the whole festival.
Yeah.
And I went from like 95 to 180 BPM throughout the whole thing. So it was like having to find transitioning between these completely different genres. What is the through line? How do I connect things? It was like a really fun challenge. And I think it actively made me a better DJ, pushing myself to do things like that. But I still wouldn't say that I'm like at the point where I could play literally any gig. Like I've never played like a formal or a wedding or like, you know what I mean? Like some of those gigs that are much more mainstream kind of stuff.
Dude, they're not, if you can avoid them. I'll say that. Like the only reason why you should do those gigs is because they're good money. Like they're phenomenal money, but you're going to be as a DJ and like, I guess as a producer who wants to eventually become an artist and curate his own sound, those gigs kill me, dude. Like, it's just like, I'm just a Spotify playlist at that point, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm not complaining. Like, and then people do make their living off that. And if you can make your living off that and enjoy it, great. You know? But it's like, for me, it's like,
that's what you're about. That's what you want to do. Then.
Exactly. Yeah. But I've had a taste of like big shows where I get to curate my own sound and play my own like music and stuff. And it's like, that's where I find like my driving passion.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. I mean, even at that, the first show I played back from after coming home from Toronto at UBC with yourself and with Demo, who you mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. That was one of the most fun gigs I've ever had.
Your life, dude.
That was awesome to be able to play the kind of music that you actually are very passionate about. Yeah. And see a crowd pop off. It was the same with my going away show. When I left to Toronto, I played a show at Venue. Yeah. And I was playing my like own remixes, IDs, upcoming collaborations, and just seeing everyone go nuts. I was like, wow, this feels awesome. It's very validating. And it's like, okay, I'm not doing something that's just super niche, right?
Totally. I mean, also just let's give the audience just an idea of what kind of music you play, because I don't think you've actually mentioned that yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what I play or what I produce?
Both.
Yeah. It originates from the Confessions sound of Shami's label called Confessions. From around like 2016, 2017 era. I was particularly inspired by Mala. That was the big shift I made. So originally I was really into Future House, particularly Oliver Heldens and Shami. But then I found as Shami started evolving into a bassier bass house kind of sound and Mala's Notorious came out, I was really interested in that sound. So I kind of started pivoting there. I think recently, like I've stayed true to that, maybe a little bit more on the bass house side. I've been called Brazilian bass a couple times and showing IDs. Yeah, which I think is more in line with like the kind of music I play. When I DJ. Yeah, that's kind of the direction. Obviously, there's a renaissance happening in tech house right now as a result of Fisher and stuff. So there's a lot of bass house producers, and I'm guilty of this as well, who are taking elements from tech house, which has been really cool. I think it's actually good to have that kind of exchange going on to feed off each other's ideas.
Well, it just evolves the music. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It makes it better. So we learn the lessons from each other about what we like, and it's better for the listener, the consumer as well, to get what they want, while still getting something new that's progressing, that's getting better. In terms of what I DJ, when, like I said earlier, when I was playing at Republic and MIA, those were hip hop residencies. But my kind of ideal sets are, if you follow my YouTube channel, which is Xander Rose as well, all of those are like G house mixes, and that's the harder side. But if I'm playing to a show live, then I'm going to be doing a lot more mashups with pop vocals. So a good example of that would be like Low by Flo Rida mashed up with Boom by Tiesto and Seven, right? So that one murders. Dua Lipa's New Rules on Gecko by Oliver Heldens. Stuff like that is like, those are the kinds of mashups that kill. And the reason I like them is because I know that the other DJs in the crowd, or the like EDM ravers, stuff like that, they'll hear the instrumental and know that. And then the mainstream people will hear the vocal and know that and get excited.
Exactly.
So that's like my ideal thing, is like, I want to meld those two worlds, whether it be hip hop and house through G house or pop and future house or whatever, to kind of get everyone in the same headspace and enjoying the music not exclude people and not be too obscure.
Totally.
So yeah, that's kind of my style. I think maybe let's take a break. We're about at the halfway point, and then we'll go off into the reason that we called this podcast the Pop Off Podcast, which is the Pop Off Rapid Fire.
Yeah. So the whole idea of the Pop Off Rapid Fire is we've got a set of 10 questions, I believe, and we're just going to ask them, and we're going to rapid fire these questions today will be us, but at our guests, hopefully in the future, and just get their quick, like whatever's off the top of their head answer and see how well it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to take a tiny break, and we'll play some break music for you guys, and then we'll be back with the first Pop Off Rapid Fire.
Welcome back to the Pop Off Podcast. I am K-OG, the co-host to this podcast.
This is Xander Rose, the other co-host of the podcast.
Anyway, what's good? So now we're going to start off on the rapid Pop Off Rapid Fire question section of the podcast. Xander, I'm going to ask you 10 questions in quick succession, and you're just going to answer them like whatever comes up to your mind, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's go.
And feel free if you have any questions, follow-up questions with any of my answers. Like, why?
Okay, yeah. Cool.
And then, because I think it'll be interesting to see the differences between our answers.
All right, cool.
But don't tell me how you would answer it until afterwards.
All right. We'll go through the questions first.
Great.
And then,
yeah.
Cool. All right. So Xander Rose.
Yes.
What track is popping off right now?
Okay. I'm in between two. The first one, because I just saw them on my birthday, it's by Volak. Well, it's by Phlegmatic Dogs, but the remix is by Volak.
Yeah.
Quattro Cats Volak remix.
Yep.
Song is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Mostly just because of the pre-drop vocal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you don't know that song, look it up. That one, and then Frequency 75 by DJ Snake.
Sweet.
That one's also dope.
Yeah, nice. Who's your artist? Which artist is popping off right now?
Honestly, if I had to pick an artist that I think is really popping off in terms of like they're achieving a lot of really good success.
Yeah.
I would say it's Nostalgics. Like,
oh hell yeah.
We just released the Contact lineup for 2019, and she's opening along with I don't know which day she's opening. Yeah, with Sibs. Yeah,
right?
Yeah. She just had another release on Confessions, which, as I was saying before the break, is the label that inspires me the most.
Nice.
And she's had a couple. I think she's had 2 others on Confessions. So. Yeah, I also bumped into her before a show at the Commodore for Joyride the other day. And she's just like living her best life, really doing amazing things. So I'm really excited to see what she's going to do in the future and how she's going to continue popping off. So
nice. All right. Well, to follow that up, what genre is popping off right now?
So it's tech house, but I'm going to give it a sub genre. Okay. Because I've been debating this with good friends of the show, Ratman and Bob, and who just, by the way, they just released their like official kind of launch for their branding and whatnot. So I'd recommend checking that out. Maybe we can throw some links in the show notes for all this stuff. We'll drop their Instagram.
Yeah.
But I was debating with them about like what is tech house and stuff.
Yeah.
And but as I said before as well, the amount of people switching to tech house from bass house.
Yeah.
And the term we're using is party tech. So the best example of this is Noizu. I love Noizu. And Fisher's the same way. Fisher's party tech, where it's like just big saws and like it's not like 12-minute songs of just hats going off.
Yeah.
Like a lot of tech house is, where there's like no drop break separation.
Yeah.
Where it's just like a drop for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Party tech has build-ups and drops and breaks.
Yeah.
But it still has like the core repetitive elements of tech house.
Totally.
And that shit I love. Like I saw Noizu live at Shambhala.
Really? Yeah.
Oh my God, it was incredible. So that's the genre pop up. Party tech.
Nice.
Make it a thing.
Right on. All right. What this might be a little bit more tough, but what label is popping off?
Bijou's label is putting out a bunch of work. He also released a nostalgic track on that label.
Yeah.
It's called Do Not Duplicate Recordings.
Okay. Yeah.
Mysteria. Yeah, Mysteria had one on there, and Mysteria is also really popping off. So Yeah, I think that's
Big
turned out to
moves.
be a good new label.
Right on. All right. Let's move over more to the Vancouver scene. What club in the Vancouver scene
What club is popping off?
Yeah. Like one, doesn't matter what day, it's just like, that's the club that you go to have like a phenomenal time without failure.
I'm a little bit torn now. If I don't know if I want to say Belmont because of how great that last Sunday was.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, so the residency that Kumo Promotions has been running, your promotions company, our promotions company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's an awesome venue, and it like just started a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And the brand that it's already established is really awesome.
Mm.
But I think I have to say celebrities because celebrities has always been popping off.
Totally.
But having the opportunity to work there for the last a month and a half has been incredible. It surprises me how packed it is every single Tuesday. It's just nuts. So
totally cool. Right on. To contrast that, what pub is popping off?
Oh, I got a
bar.
good answer to this one. Colony.
Oh, true.
I went to Colony for the first time.
Yeah.
They do $3 drinks on Tuesdays, which is awesome before Celebs Tuesday.
Dude.
But it's such a cool venue. I just really like it in there.
They got a lot of stuff in there, right? Like
Yeah.
What is it?
It's massive in
they got
there.
Basketball and stuff.
Yeah, they have
Football.
yeah, they have a little basketball and ping pong tables and lots of shit. So
that's you put a bar in a rec room, you know?
Yeah. They have bocce ball.
Sick.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Cool. All right. From all the many festivals that you attended this year, which one popped off the most?
So I actually didn't attend very many festivals this year.
I thought you did.
Because I was living out east.
Right.
I didn't have the opportunity to go to a lot. I went to Escapade.
Yeah.
And
is this the one with DJ Snake?
No. He didn't. This was Tiesto.
Okay.
Who filled in for Martin Garrix.
Okay.
I forget who the other headliner was. Yeah, I don't remember. DJ Snake played Veld in Toronto the year before. Right. So I went to like some one-off events. Like I saw Xiaomi and then I saw Mala and stuff while I was out there, but it was just Escapade. But by far the winner has to be Shambhala. Shambhala was insane. That life-changing experience, to be honest. It just ruined festivals for me. It was... I would say that and Paradiso with a close second. But Shambhala was, I think everyone has to go to Shambhala. Like it
at least once,
it's another universe.
I was planning to go and be a shawarma cook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that never ended up following through, which kind of sucks.
Go next year, man.
No,
we got to get a fat crew going because it's so cool. It's
definitely cool. All right. What day of the week do you think should pop off? Other than Friday, Saturday, because those days are off.
Like, what I think is what day of the week I like a lot is Thursdays. Because there's Hello Goodbye Thursdays that I frequent a lot. Yep. And it's good because it's a lot of industry people, a lot of people I know who are there. And it's just a nice smaller venue. So I really enjoy that.
Nice.
And they just started the EDM residency at 12 West, Thirsty Thursdays. Just moved there. Yeah, it used to be at Celebrities monthly.
Was that with Tylo?
Yeah, with Tylo. Nice. Who's like major homie. Like back in the day, we played No Redemption parody set at Cavunt Fest back in the day. So he dressed up like Shami and I dressed up as Mala and so he's a big homie and I'm really happy to see that. I've never been to 12 West, so I'm excited to go at some point. I think though the night that to me needs a bit of a resurgence is probably Wednesday. I know that there's playlists going on at Republic and the Piers
Champagne Lounge
stuff has been going on. But I haven't been out to a Wednesday since I got back.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how that's going, but I would like to see a strong Wednesday again.
Honestly, I can give my insight on that. The Wednesdays at like UBC are nuts.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like the Pit and Bimini's. Like those places are absolutely bonkers on Wednesdays.
It's too bad UBC is like a trek and a half.
Exactly, that's the problem, is Like no one wants to go downtown on a Wednesday because it's so far. The thing with the Pit is it's on campus, right? And Bimini's is like a 15-minute bus ride away. So, and it's like really hard to pull people away from that. You know what I mean?
There's also the study residency, which is the pub at SFU.
Yeah,
is on Thursday.
Oh.
And J Sturge, Justin plays that.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's with JRG After Dark. So
okay.
yeah. So that's insane. I haven't been to that yet.
Nice. Yeah, definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, what's your favorite drink?
My favorite drink
pop off.
Oh, it's got to be the rum and coke, brother.
The classic
with a double lime, and I squeeze it all the way in.
Yeah.
Throw that. Get it under the ice.
Oh, man.
I want to be drinking lime coke. Basically, that's
100%.
You know, the reason how I fell into that was I used to drink Fireball all the time, and I felt like that was like a weird drink to have
totally
in the industry. So I switched to drinking rum and coke. So now I just love rum and coke. So yeah.
And then one more. The 10th question is what do you have popping off?
What do I have popping off?
What's popping off with you?
I just released a track with Crescent. So this was a collaboration as opposed to a remix called Diamonds. Yeah, it's a party tech mix with G House type of deal. And I put just a lot of time and effort into making the song as good as I could. And I'm really happy with the result. So that's the main thing that I got going on right now.
There you go. That's super hype, dude. Okay. Well,
all right. Let's turn it over now.
All right.
And
10 pop-off questions.
Yes.
Rapid fire. Let's go.
Okay. Track pop-off.
So I've been playing a lot of college parties, and the song Loco Contigo by
I love that song.
The new DJ Snake song goes off, man. Like, I don't know if it's because we have more international kids or like whatever, but that song
I love that song, man. That's a great song.
100%. So I say that's the track pop off for me right now.
Yeah. I dig it. Artist pop off.
Gotta give it to my boy Boslin. He has been killing it in Vancouver lately.
Boslin.
Yeah, Boslin. Have you heard of him?
No, I don't know.
Boslin is a rapper from Vancouver Island. And like he's just kind of been popping up everywhere. Like he recently played UBC Welcome Back Barbecue. A couple of days before that, he was up at UBCO. He played at Breakout Fest, the hip hop festival.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like he's just kind of been like putting in work and like he's been everywhere.
Good for him.
You know? So like, gotta give it to my boy.
Are you guys well connected?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I met him a couple times. He's worked with my old collective, The Relatives. He did work with one, but it's like we haven't really had like face-to-face. I know his manager really well though, Isaac Markinson. Yeah, we used to work at Cactus Club together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's my dish bitch. But no, kudos to you guys. You guys been killing it.
That's dope. Okay, next up, genre pop-off.
I gotta say, as a DJ and playing all these college parties and whatnot, like people just love like the moon baton,
the Latin dancehall shit. Yeah,
it's just like the drum pattern.
I feel it, man. I really like that shit too. Like when Justin Bieber had his renaissance.
Yeah.
From what was like Despacito after like Sorry and stuff came out.
Yeah.
When he did the feature on that, and then all the DJ Snake stuff, and the Major Lazer stuff.
I mean, it's more just like I've been playing a lot of like dancehall and moon baton covers of songs. So
really? And redrums. The redrums are really popular.
Yeah, because it's like it's not much different from the original song, but it's just kind of got that like dancey groove.
Yeah, it's a little bit dancier. Yeah,
right.
It's popular to do that on like hip hop, like down tempo hip hop, to redrum it into dancehall.
Yeah, so that's been like really popping off. I feel like. Yeah.
Did you see Major Lazer's headlining Contact this year?
Yeah, I did. I'm
stoked. That's gonna be dope. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Should be good.
Label pop off.
I haven't really been paying too much attention to like labels, more artists, but I will give a kudos to Nyla Records.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a local Vancouver-based record label. I guess I'm not really sure what you'd call them, but my boy Young Friend signed with them recently, and he's been absolutely exploding in the scene. Like, lots of content, lots of like, just a lot of like.
Do you have any other artists I would know?
No. Do you ever meet Jade from MIA?
No.
He's the sound guy?
No, never met him.
Okay, well, he's part of Nyla as well. They're pretty like underground, but it's like they're doing like really good things for like local artists.
It's kind of similar to Shepherd. Do you know Shepherd?
No, I don't know Shepherd.
Shepherd Records, they're like house techno label from Vancouver. Yeah. So they do lots of showcases at MIA.
Nice.
For like Deep Down Inside and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
So actually Carbon is playing with them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, on their showcase this weekend.
Nice, yeah, right on.
Okay, next up, we Club Pop Off.
Gotta give it to celebs. Partly because I'm biased because it's like my like dream gig to play there. Like,
You've never played there?
I've never played there.
You've never played Celebs?
And it was your second gig, so
Brother,
fuck you.
I think I've played there 4 times.
Wow, man. Yeah.
And the underground.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play Celebs, which the opportunity has never arisen.
Right.
So definitely, and like they're just so consistent, man. Like anytime I go there, it's always like popping off. Like it's always
then they've got access to great talent. I mean, like Seb, Yuri, Flip Out, Nick Bike. It's who's the other one?
There's tons.
I can't remember.
Johnny Jover plays there.
Yeah. That's who I was thinking of. Yep.
Yeah.
And Nostalgic plays there a bunch of times as well.
Yeah, they got a good lineup,
and they have great like one-off events as well for those residencies.
Yeah.
Like Solardo was just there, so yeah, and they got a lot of stuff going on. So
nice.
Pub pop off.
I'm gonna be a little biased here and say Lamplighter has been going off. I got my residency there on Saturdays, and since the summer it's just been exploding. Like since school has been back, I don't know if it's because it's like people saw me play there all summer, and now that they're back, they're like starting to come visit.
Oh yeah.
But I've just kind of like seen like a increase in like people, and like it's like the past like month has been absolutely insane.
I don't think I've ever been there.
It's fun, dude. It's a fun pub. It's like a party pub.
Yeah, party pub. Right on.
So that's that.
Dope. Festival pop off? How much of a festival goer are you?
I used to be like quite a festival goer, but then
like which ones? Which ones were you frequenting? Like Faded and stuff, or?
I went to Faded a couple times. I went to Pemberton when it was a thing.
Okay, yeah.
Like way back in the day.
Yeah, and the old multi-genre festivals that don't really exist anymore in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Or in kind of like BC in general.
Yeah, the last festival I went to was Contact with my little brother.
Yeah. What year was that?
2018.
2018. Last year.
The last Contact, yeah. I don't know. Like I love the music, but I'm too broke. So that's a big problem. Yeah. That's why I was saying I was trying to work at Shambhala as a shawarma cook, dude.
Yeah, Shambhala was an investment for sure.
Straight, right? And it's just like I actually like just spent way too much money doing other things during the school year, so I just kind of didn't really save or prepare to be spending money for those kind of areas. Especially it's also I didn't have a full-time job because I thought I could make it as a DJ during the summer, which I mean, I survived. So I guess that's the point, but it's also I didn't make a lot of money. Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully next year my plan is to hit Shams because I've heard insane things about it.
Definitely, I'm starting to get more into the space of like volunteering and stuff, especially as there's a lot more of these local, smaller ones like Arrival, Departure, Impact, Kavant Fest. So,
shout out the guy. Cool, right on.
Weekday pop off. So either the day that you think is popping off that people wouldn't expect. Mm-hmm. I think we had to exempt like Tuesdays just because of celebs, or the day that you see potential in.
Definitely, like I think like Thursday would be the next Thursday or Sunday. You know, okay. I mean? Like Thursday because it's a good lead into the weekend, so it's easier for people to like you know.
Lots of people have Fridays off too in certain jobs or with school and stuff. They manage to get it off. So
so it's like a lot easier. It's a bigger leeway for partying compared to Sunday. But I think it's like there is definitely like a Sunday crowd out there to be had. You know, you gotta find them. It's just like people just got work. It's like the Monday. You know, people got Monday in the back of their minds, so it's kind of tough for them to bring them out.
Man, I've showed up hungover on Mondays a fair amount of times.
We need more people like you. Yeah, but I definitely think the Sunday has potential if done correctly.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah. What's your drink pop off?
I love Orion Ginger. Like
really,
I don't know what it is. It's the flavor. I don't know if it's the flavor or like it's just something about Orion Ginger that
I've never had
happy.
That one.
Really?
Yeah, at first I was when you said that I was thinking of gin and soda. Is gin and soda? Is that what it is?
Gin and soda. No, gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic. Yeah. Which I hate. I hate gin and tonics. But Orion Ginger sounds better because I like ginger ale.
Ginger ale. It's just like something about the ginger ale and the whiskey, the rye whiskey, like blends beautifully together.
Okay.
You know?
Maybe I'll try that.
I'll get you one.
Okay. So last one, what's popping off with you?
I don't even know anymore. So many things on the go that it's like hard to say. I guess like maybe just my directorship with Calendar, being the production director, like that's really been exciting.
How long is that for? I saw you guys were hiring too. What?
Yeah. So we're like hiring for you. It's just like the Calendar is just an insane like entity, and they get it on just the production director, and I'm in charge of events. I also have to be involved with like everything else that goes on. So it's like hiring, things like collaborations with other organizations. We have a cultural branch of the calendar, so I gotta like support that. And it's just like a big commitment, but it's just like, it's really exciting because it's like I'm learning like all these like different skills outside of DJing that'll help me with DJing, you know?
Yeah.
And we just recently finished off on our garden party event, which is like a 1,500 person event. Don't know how we did that, but we managed to make it work. And then we just got like Oktoberfest. We're doing an Oktoberfest event, like Halloween, like things are just like coming up. So it's like just kind of getting enough time in my life to handle all that, you know? And then other than that, just like trying to play more DJ gigs everywhere.
Yeah. Not to take you out of the moment of how exciting all that is, because it sounds like it's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there like a definitive endpoint to it though for you?
For the calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the end of the year, April.
End of the year. Yeah.
April is when I'll be finished.
End of the school year. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm hoping that like, because I did all this directorship, I'll be able to bring in someone who will bring me back for more and more gigs,
right.
You know, even when I graduate.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of like hold on to that last bit of college.
That legacy.
Yeah, a little bit, So yeah, that's kind of that's happening.
So I think that's where we'll wrap up for this first episode.
Yeah.
As we alluded, this will kind of be the structure, I think, for most of the episodes. The first half being a more kind of open format interview discussion with whoever our guests are, and then break into the pop-off rapid fire. So thank you all for listening. This has been Xander Rose.
This is K-OG. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.
And if you could do us a very big favor, if you think you would like more people to know about this podcast, there's 2 ways that you can help us. One is either to share it directly with a friend. The other thing you can do is go onto Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. I'm sure you've heard, if you listen to any other podcast, that this helps a lot in terms of algorithm and recommendations to other people. So that helps us a lot. So those are 2 really easy ways that you can support this if you think it's a good podcast. And then we can grow from there. Yeah.
And one more thing, if you think anyone, or you want to hear anyone on this podcast, let us know, because we're always looking for new people, and we're really excited to bring on people from the industry and get, pick their brain and see what they're all about.
Yeah. I always say happy dancing as my sign off. I don't know what we're gonna do for this one.
Let's pop it off this weekend.
Yeah, pop off.
Peace.